1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news. Edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. The President emphasized the importance of focusing on products that can succeed in the competitive export market by prioritizing paddy production. A report detailing the current progress of the Agriculture Modernization Program was presented to the President. The government expects to introduce a Gambling Regulation Act to Parliament without delay. The IMF hopeful of concluding negotiations with Sri Lanka's external creditors. All arrangements are made to provide the appointments for Grade 3 of the Educational Administrative Services according to the performance of the candidates. The outgoing Vietnam ambassador paid a farewell call on the Prime Minister. It is stressed that dengue extends beyond mere health implications, presenting significant economic and social challenges. In foreign news, U.S. urges Israel to be transparent over Gaza school strike. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the importance of focusing on products that can succeed in the competitive export market by prioritizing paddy production. He stressed the need to advance towards competitive agriculture by 2030 through the adoption of modern technology. The President highlighted that the future cannot be secured without focusing on competitive products. He emphasized that it is advisable to discontinue products that cannot compete in the export market. President Ranil Wickremesinghe made this statement during the progress review meeting of the Agriculture Modernization Program, convened at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday afternoon. As part of the Agriculture Modernization Program, 26 divisional secretariats across the country have each received an allocation of 25 million rupees. A report detailing the current progress of this pilot project was also presented to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. This report encompasses the initiatives undertaken by the Ministries of Agriculture and Fisheries with endeavours aimed at establishing youth agri-entrepreneurship villages and the involvement of the private sector in the Agriculture Modernization Program. The overreaching objective of this project is to utilize modern technology to competitively supply goods for the export market, thereby capturing a larger share of the export market, boosting foreign exchange earnings and enhancing the agricultural economy. To attain these objectives, extensive deliberations were held regarding the development of an effective system to mitigate damages inflicted by monkeys and wild elephants on crops and minimize post-harvest losses. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that the government expects to introduce a Gambling Regulation Act to Parliament without delay. The government aims to regulate the many unaccounted ways of gambling through this act. 500 million rupees will be charged when issuing the license for all gambling centres. In addition, an income tax of 40% and 15% of other taxes will also be imposed on those businesses. The State Minister made these remarks while replying to a question raised by MP Harsha De Silva at the House today. IMF spokesperson Julie Kozak says that there is a strong expectation that agreements with Sri Lanka's external commercial creditors consist with the International Monetary Fund program parameters will be reached soon. Addressing a special press briefing, the director of the IMF's communications department said, overall the IMF assesses that there has been sufficiently strong progress in the debt restructuring front. Providing further details, Julie Kozak said, more specifically, the authorities have been holding extensive discussions with external official creditors regarding an MOU with the Official Creditor Committee and the final agreements with the Export-Import Bank of China. Outlining further measures, Julie Kozak said The next steps of the debt restructuring are indeed to conclude the negotiations with external commercial creditors and to implement agreements in principle with the official creditors. Julie Kozak confirmed that the IMF Executive Board will meet on the 12th of this month to discuss the second review and the Article 4 consultation related to Sri Lanka. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Here's important news from the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation. All Rajya Sasal outlets of the SPC gives a 5% discount for medicines on prescription for senior citizens above 55 years, children under 5 years and pregnant mothers. SPC provides high quality, safe, efficacious medicinal drugs at affordable prices. The State Pharmaceuticals Corporation of Sri Lanka. Your health is our concern.
We continue with local news. Minister of Education Susil Premajayanta says that all arrangements are made to provide the appointments for Grade 3 of the Educational Administrative Services. Those appointments will be given according to the performance of the candidates. These appointments were delayed by around 3 years. It is expected to provide 404 appointments before the 30th of this month. The minister also said that the interviews to fill 808 vacancies of the teacher training specialists are in the final phase at present. Agriculture and Plantation Industries Minister Mahinda Amarweera said that arrangements are underway to begin a compensation program for crop damage caused in many areas due to flooding. It is estimated that 100 million rupees will be needed for this project, and the cabinet led by the president has also paid attention to the payment of crop damage, the minister said. The minister has informed the Agriculture and Plantation Industries Ministry Secretary Janaka Dharmakirti to provide an immediate report on all these crop damages. About 15,000 acres of paddy fields have been destroyed due to floods and heavy rains. Also, many lands where vegetables were cultivated have also been destroyed due to the rain. The Vietnam ambassador Thai Tan Truce paid a farewell call on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees in Colombo yesterday. The Prime Minister thanked her for the contribution made to strengthen bilateral relations during her tenure and wished her well in her future endeavours. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena held a discussion with Mauritius High Commissioner Hein Man Doyle Dillum about the expansion of trade and investment relations between the two countries. He urged to explore the possibility of investments in new areas including power and energy during a discussion held with the High Commissioner when the latter called on him at Temple Trees on Wednesday. The envoy asked Sri Lanka to join small island developing states and assured the support of Mauritius for Sri Lanka's membership. 29 island states, including Singapore, Mauritius and the Maldives, are members of SIDS. They discuss close collaboration in multilateral organizations such as the Indian Ocean Rim Association, of which both are founder members, and the African Union, in which Mauritius is a member of the Sri Lanka obtained observer status.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
We now take a look at Watchlight. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Sudat Samarveera, emphasized that dengue extends beyond mere health implications, presenting significant economic and social challenges. He underscored that the Ministry of Health alone cannot effectively control the spread of dengue and requires full public support. Mr. Sudat Samarveera disclosed that within the last 5 months of this year, over 25,000 dengue cases and 9 dengue-related deaths have been reported. That came to you in Watchlight. Coming up, World News. First, the headlines. U.S. urges Israel to be transparent over Gaza school strike. Exit poll says EU relations start with tight Dutch race. 11 tons of rubbish taken off Himalayan peaks. The US has told Israel it must be fully transparent over an airstrike that reportedly killed at least 35 people at a central Gaza school packed with displaced people on Thursday morning. Local journalists told the BBC a warplane had fired 2 missiles at classrooms on the top floor of the school in the Nuseirat urban refugee camp. The Israeli military said it had conducted a precise strike on a Hamas compound in the school, but Gaza's Hamas-run government media office denied the claim. The US called on Israel to identify publicly the Hamas fighters it said it had killed, just as the Israeli military gave the names of 9 of them. Israel frequently identifies militants it targets in airstrikes, but it is rare for US to urge it to do so. The Israelis told us there were 20 to 30 militants they were targeting. They are going to release the names of those they believe were killed, U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said. Dutch voters have begun 4 days of voting across the European Union, with exit polls suggesting a tight race between a left-green alliance and the party of anti-Islam populist Geert Wilders. Right-wing and far-right parties are widely expected to make big gains in many of the US 27 member states, and that appears to have been borne out of the Netherlands to an extent. Although the Green Labour Alliance is said to make more seats in the European Parliament, according to the exit poll, Mr. Wilder's Freedom Party is on course for big gains. But he has not repeated the runaway victory of last November's general election. Under European law, final results are not released until every country has voted late on Sunday evening. The Nepalese army says it has removed 11 tons of rubbish, 4 corpses and 1 skeleton from Mount Everest and 2 other Himalayan peaks this year. It took troops 55 days to recover the rubbish and bodies from Everest and Nuptse and Lhotse mountains. It is estimated that more than 50 tons of waste and more than 200 bodies cover Everest. The army began conducting an annual cleanup of the mountain, which is often described as the world's highest garbage dump. In 2019, during concerns about overcrowding and climbers queuing in dangerous conditions to reach the summit. The 5 cleanups have collected 119 tons of rubbish, 14 human corpses, and some skeletons, the army says. This year, authorities aim to reduce rubbish and improve rescues by making climbers wear tracking devices and bring back their own poo. For the spring climbing season that ended in May, the government issued permits to 421 climbers, down from a record-breaking 478 last year. Those numbers do not include Nepalese guides. In total, an estimated 600 people climbed the mount this year. This year, 8 climbers died or went missing compared to 19 last year. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. US urges Israel to be transparent over Gaza school strike. Exit poll says EU elections start with tight Dutch race. 11 tons of rubbish taken off Himalayan peaks. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
The Education Ministry will provide vouchers for schoolgirls to buy sanitary napkins based on the allocation of 1 billion rupees. The program of supplying free vouchers for adult schoolgirls to purchase sanitary napkins will be implemented from this month. The inauguration of handing over the gift voucher program, which has been implemented with an estimated 1 billion rupees, took place at the President's Girls' College in Narwala yesterday. Accordingly, the Education Ministry has taken steps to provide free vouchers to purchase sanitary napkins for 6 months, beginning from June. A gift voucher worth 1,200 rupees each will be given to female students.
Moving on with sports news.
Goalkeeper Craig Gordon and defender John Soto are the Scotland players set to miss out on Europe 2024. Head coach Steve Clarke must trim his squad from 28 to 26 for the tournament following Friday's home friendly with Finland. Scotland meets host Germany in the opening match in Munich on the 14th of June. Clarke lost Aaron Hickey, Nathan Patterson and Lewis Ferguson to injuries before assembling his provincial group. Since then, Lyndon Dykes and Ben Dweck have withdrawn, with Tommy Conway and Lewis Morgan called up.
Go ekaktiana youth කට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Greek ambassador called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunwardena at Temperaries on Wednesday. The Prime Minister and the ambassador discussed bilateral relations, trade and investment promotion, maritime issues and seafarer employment. Both Greece and Sri Lanka face similar economic crisis situations, and they exchange ideas on reform methods undertaken to come out of the crisis. The Prime Minister requested the Greek ambassador to explore possibilities of increasing employment for seafarers on Greek ships, and she has consented to discuss with shipping companies. The ambassador is concurrently accredited with Sri Lanka, with residence in New Delhi.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekaktiana youth කට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
The Excise Department has earned a tax revenue of 88 billion rupees in the period from the 1st of January 2023 to the 31st of May 2023. It is significant that the Excise Department has earned more revenue than the same period in the last year, which stood at 69.9 billion rupees. According to reports, it is an increase of 19 billion rupees compared to the same period of the previous year. When it is taken as a percentage, the increase is 28%. Excise Commissioner General M.J. Gunnesari said the Excise Department has earned 169 billion rupees in 2022. It was increased to 179 billion rupees in 2023.
Weather report.
Times in the western, Sabragamo and southern provinces, and in the Kandy and Nuwara districts, several spells of showers will occur in the northwestern, northern and north central provinces. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the eastern and Nuwara provinces in the evening or at night. Strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the northern, north central, northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota district. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. To end this afternoon's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The President emphasized the importance of focusing on products that can succeed in the competitive export market by prioritizing paddy production. A report detailing the current progress of the Agriculture Modernization Program was presented to the President. The government expects to introduce a Gambling Regulation Act to Parliament without delay. The IMF hopeful of concluding negotiations with Sri Lanka's external creditors. All arrangements are made to provide the appointments for grade 3 of the educational administrative services according to the performance of the candidates. The outgoing Vietnam ambassador paid a farewell call on the Prime Minister. It is stressed that dengue extends beyond mere health implications, presenting significant economic and social challenges. In foreign news, US urges Israel to be transparent over Gaza school strike that ends this afternoon's news broadcast. The time is 1:35. This is Radio Sri Lanka. Well, I'm about to exit the studio, but your very dear friends and mine, Romesh Piris, is here to keep you very good company until 4 o'clock this afternoon, and in a short while from now it will be lunchtime music. So as you sit down to enjoy your lunch in the presence of Romesh, we also hope that you'll enjoy music in the background. All the very best to you, Romesh. Have a very pleasant afternoon, and of course the weekend is almost upon us.
Yes.
So we hope that you will enjoy every second
Wonderful.
of it.